Hey, it seems like a lot has happened in this past week, and I've actually learned a lot about people this week. I wanted to share a few thoughts with you. We get on here and talk a fair amount, so wanted to hop on. First of all, a lot of our kids have gone back to school, haven't they? And we're learning about being teachers. Not an easy job, is it? Um, I mean, this is a very honorable thing. We've learned a lot about the heroes in society this week. The past couple weeks, our healthcare workers, people who really work tirelessly to manufacture things to help society, teachers, our first responders. You figure out that Middle America is unbelievably necessary, unbelievably powerful, unbelievably overlooked. So, first thing I want to say is a huge thank you to everybody that is a healthcare worker, people who clean places. I mean, come on, how many times have you overlooked that? Or that guy stocking the shelves at the grocery store? He's probably been working 12, 14, 16-hour days. So I mean, it's amazing the things that you see going on, and the fact that we need to really be noticing the people that are contributing. So Seymour just joined me here. You can hear him squeaking a little bit. Second thing, so our kids are back to school virtually, but our college students are home. Interesting, they all went out and emptied out their dorms and their apartments and things like that. Uh, Interesting change of lifestyle for them. For those of you that are college students, it's kind of fun. The the fact that they are trying to be independent, but now they're back home, that's got to be a little bit of a culture shock. Remember if you ever moved back home from college, it was tough. So we have a lot of patience that gets to be exercised in our homes now. And then another observation that I made, our dogs and cats are so freaking happy now. Have you noticed that? They are so happy now. Seymour just walked up here. It's like, hey, they're home. Really? This is longer than a weekend. So, just a few observations on what's going on, in the households, things like that. Hopefully you've been not sitting in the dark watching movies all week or playing video games or something like that, and making the most of this. I think we've been at this for, in some places, 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. Around here, let's call it 2 weeks. But it's interesting how we're making these observations, we're making adjustments, we're figuring things out. I've retooled my Facebook studio here several times. I just redid it again today. So trying to get a little more sophisticated with how we do this, but we're learning a lot. We're learning a lot about ourselves. And one of the big things that I've noticed about people overall is people are starting to accept change, which is good. This is a transition in society, and something that you need to hold up the mirror and notice is people are accepting change. Are you accepting change, or are you fighting change? Are you resisting change? Are you angered or frustrated by change? Because what we know this one thing, and it goes back to that formula, E plus R equals O. What is your response? Because your response to the event determines the outcome. The E plus R equals O, event plus response equals outcome. That's really important right now. That's Jack Canfield's success formula from the book Success Principles. Take a look at it. I think it's like 50, 52 chapters, something like that. So a chapter a week. Amazing book. You can download it electronically. You can get the Audible, things like that. But great book, and that's one of the chapters in it. Something else. I've been blessed to have an unbelievable group of people that I get to work with at RE/MAX headquarters. The leaders of Motto, and the leaders of our technology companies, and the leaders of RE/MAX. And it's incredible because clearly I'm not traveling now, and I usually spend so much time on the road, but I get to see them virtually every day. And it's amazing. I get to talk to these people that I work with so much more. And we just had a company meeting the other day. We're using Zoom. We just offered Zoom for no charge to all of our brokerages. 5,000 brokerages around the world get the Zoom Pro, and then our agents get the basic enhanced basic Zoom package to do business now as well until June 1st. Unbelievable opportunity, because we are using the daylights out of this thing. It doesn't have to be Zoom. It can be anything, but they're doing a really nice service to the RE/MAX network. So helping everybody out. So take a look at that. If you haven't seen the email, take a look at it. There should be a tile in the Max Center if you're a RE/MAX person. But get good at video conferencing. And speaking of video conferencing, we're learning how to video conference. Okay, there are some rules. There's some things to do, some things not to do. You don't want to have crazy weirdness in the background going on. Sure, you might have your kids at home. Sure, your dogs might be climbing on the couch or whatever it might be. But figure out where you can video conference where it looks relatively professional. And your customers, when you video conference with them, are noticing those things. They're taking a look at the environment, trying to figure out what's going on. It's ultimately it's how you're presenting yourself. So think of, how would I walk into a meeting with a customer? How would I go meet with a friend? I mean, do you just roll out of bed and go in your pajamas? If that's you, I'm not judging, but we are still in a visual society. Someone that discovers trust and transparency and things like that visually. So prepare yourself today, and know that there are going to be some weird things going around the internet of strange video calls that have happened where people have had unusual things happen in the background. I've already seen some. You don't want to be one of those. So also, let me just give you 3 tips on video conferencing. 1, camera at eye level or above. Okay, you don't want to be have the camera looking up your nose when you're talking to people. 2, have the lights over there instead of behind you. Okay, over there instead of behind you. Otherwise, you're just going to be a shadow in the whole thing. And then 3, make sure you place yourself within the frame somewhere. You don't want it to be where you're like way down here and you can barely be seen. I've seen a couple of those. And smile a lot. So there's 4. Smile. People want to see your personality, and it matters. So moving forward, let's talk about a few things moving forward here. First of all, go in and figure out what's going on with the CARES Act. If you are a real estate agent, go to NAR's website. They have a good breakdown of the CARES Act. They've participated in creating this thing. If you're a franchisor or franchisee, I have a lot of friends in franchising. The International Franchise Association has as well. So take a look at that. If you're neither, go read the CARES Act summaries, because it impacts almost 100% of society. So go take a look at it. I encourage you to figure out what it says. Talk to your tax professional about it. And they probably have something on their website that talks about it and explains it to you. This is important to you because you're likely to have a check showing up in the mail at some point, or if you've changed addresses or things have changed in your life where you're at a different address, whatever it might be, you need to know whether or not you need to file anything, or if you're going to end up getting the check that's meant for you from the CARES Act, or if it impacts your business. There are a lot of really good business loans that are available, some of them with some waivers on some of the payback on that, and they're SBA based. So you got to take a look at all this stuff. I'm not a tax professional, but I've been studying the daylights out of this thing. It matters for small business. It matters for small business. Don't put this off. Start looking at it immediately. Second thing, hang in there, okay? We're not done with this yet. And we're starting to see this, it's been projected we're going to see this spike of people with the illness. It's going to happen. But we all have to be patient. We have to be kind. We have to be caring. We have to be understanding of each other and of each other's businesses and things like that. Sometimes you're going to end up in frustration. Do not get in negotiation with people at this point. Be kind ask questions, and everybody will figure this out, okay? If it's with your landlords or the electric company or whoever, everybody will figure this out. Everybody has the best of intentions in this whole thing, okay? We've seen people trying to price gouge, whatever. They got shut down pretty quick. One, it's illegal. Two, it's immoral and unethical. So the reality is people will figure things out. If you have business relationships with different organizations, and everybody has business relationships, just be patient. Be patient, have conversations, communicate, and things will get figured out, okay? Don't get upset, because upset and arguments and stuff like that it just, people regret things that they say down the road, stuff like that. I've seen it happen. Just take a deep breath and smile. If you can't figure it out, don't try and attack the situation, hoping that you're going to muscle your way through it, because kindness is going to figure these things out. These things will get figured out, okay? So that's really important. And then we also get frustrated easily during these times, even when it's not a business type situation. Communication will help. Kindness and communication, deploying love, stuff like that. Don't deploy fear. Don't fight, flight, or freeze your way through everything. It's not going to work. Communicate, okay? Use it more now than ever. If you haven't heard from somebody in a long time, communicate with them. Send them a quick video. Give them a quick phone call, things like that. So those are some tips. So know what's in the CARES Act. Thank you to our government. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Thank you to our government for pushing this thing through. This makes a big difference. Hang in there with your businesses, okay? If you've gotten laid off or whatever, the CARES Act. Go back to step one. Check out the CARES Act. See what you can do to help yourself with that. And then communication. All right, communication. So let me leave you with this. We're coming in on halftime. That's kind of how we have to think about this. We had a rough 2 first quarters. Let's pretend this is a 4-quarter football game here. We're coming in on halftime. And, when a team's going to the locker room and they've gotten beat up pretty good at halftime, there's frustration. Some people may have gotten injured. There have been points scored against you, things like that. What do people do? There's one of two things that can happen here. One is they can get frustrated with each other, and they can be at each other. And that doesn't help anything or anybody. That makes the problem worse. It makes the problem worse. But if they take a step back, and you can even go into YouTube and watch some halftime locker room speeches here, because that's kind of what we need right now. We need a halftime locker room speech, because this is a game of hour by hour, day by day. You're going to encounter good things and bad things during this time, things that are positive, things that are frustrating during this time. And you need to take a step back, take a deep breath, think positively, figure out what's the best case scenario for this, and decide whether or not you deal with it right then and there. But you know what? You have to do it with the best of intentions. The best of intentions. And the best of intentions is being a leader, helping other people through this. Okay? It's super important. This is halftime. Think about a halftime locker room speech, because we still have 2 quarters left of this thing. Still got 2 quarters left to go out and play. And the other team may score some more points. But we got to score points. How do we do that? Health. Social distancing, or physical distancing, I guess, is now the new term. Taking care of each other, checking in with each other. My wife and I just dropped some food off at somebody's front porch that isn't feeling well today, and kept our distance, but dropped something off to say, hey, we care about you, some flowers and some food. Things like that. Let's score some positive points, some kindness points. And know everything that's going on in your life. Take advantage of this time. Don't curl up in a ball in the corner and do nothing, because you will regret it coming out on the back end. You'll go, gosh, I wish I had taken advantage of that time to improve my relationships, improve my health, improve myself, improve my physical fitness, my well-being, how I eat, what my pantry looks like, what my closet looks like, what my garage looks like, what my business looks like, what my business relationships look like. Do I know how to do video? Whatever it might be. This is an opportunity for us all to get better. That's what we have to think going out of the locker room to go play the second half of this, okay? Stay focused on these things, because you get what you focus on. If you look for misery, if you look for worst case scenario, that's what you're going to get, guaranteed. And I'm not being Pollyanna, and I'm not hiding from anything. I'm being realistic, and I know that if you focus on the things that will work, they will work. They will work. Have faith. Okay. Be safe and healthy. You know that drill. Okay. And kindness first. Approach with the best of intentions. Not to negotiate with people. Be kind. If somebody starts negotiating, just say, I love your passion. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. Okay. Learn something new. Like I mentioned, video conferencing and the tech tools you have available. If you're in Remax, don't forget to check out the First app, first.io. You get it free for 3 months. Again, the Zoom situation, if you haven't received the email about Zoom, then check with your region or go to Max Center. That's what I'm going to tell you. Go check with your region, the Max Center. I'm not going to answer any support questions on here, but go check with those two things and they'll help you figure it out. Okay. And offer to help people. Offer to help people. That will go a long way. So stay well, be kind, be safe. Love you guys. Thanks for all you do. And we will get through this. Bye.